Hold on. Say your name.
Shawn Scarfrey.
Yeah, there you go.
Hello.
Hi.
Um, okay. I will start now. What does racial disparity mean to you? What does equity mean to you?
So, racial disparity. Um, when things are not even, we're not even, we're based on racial lines, things are different. And it could be every aspect of life, from housing to sort of economic outlook, where they're sort of predetermined by race. And equity is getting to a fairer place. Not sort of equality, but it is the sort of the act of getting to a fairer place.
What does the term affluenza mean to you?
Influenza. Well, first is a stupid term. How about that? But it speaks to me economic privilege. All right. I think this is less to do with the white privilege, but more to do with being affluent and being born into certain privilege, and whether that sort of corrupts you or impacts your the way you think. But it impacts perhaps how you view the world and how the world views you. I think when you have economic means, you're operating in a different space. The law is different often. I would say just everything is different.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Okay, what is your favorite pro-black movie or favorite pro-white movie?
All right. So my favorite pro-black movie is Do the Right Thing, Spike Lee. It's like one of my favorite movies of all time. And it is my favorite sort of pro-black movie because it deals with the black experience, but also the in New York that is diverse and also sort of balkanized, where there are separate identities that come together, but still remain very separate. I think it's a great film about Brooklyn, and a really great film about race. My favorite white movie. Wow. I can't say Stand By Me now.
It's a good movie.
It is a good movie. Maybe something like Superman, like one of those where there's a savior type that 9 out of 10 times is sort of white male. But because I'm a comic book person or a comic book fan, and the idea of that existing is kind of cool.
Yeah. How often are you the only member of your race in the room?
Often. It happens. I am the only member. I don't know what race you are.
I'm Puerto Rican.
Yeah, I am the only member of my race in this room right now.
Me too.
Yeah. but
that doesn't happen.
Oh, maybe not, because Puerto Ricans are part African,
Yes.
part Spanish. So
Yeah.
maybe I'm fucking everything up right now.
Yeah, you are though. No, but it does happen. It happens in work scenarios often. I work in philanthropy. It's happened, in school. It's happened. It happens.
What is the best part about looking like your people / white?
I guess the best part about me, I love my blackness. I love. I wouldn't trade it for the world. So, I love the fact that we are, like, even my family, racially diverse, right? I have one brother who's light skinned, another brother who's darker skinned. Like we have like a little rainbow of colors, and I think that's so unique. Um, yeah, I just love it. And I used to have dreadlocks, so having dreadlocks is a cool thing and looks better on black people. That's all I'm saying.
White people can have dreadlocks.
They can have them, but it looks better.
Yeah.
It looks better on us.
How does racism negatively impact white people?
So I think there's a lot of generalization that happens, right? So when things are so far one way, everyone can be grouped in that way, and it's happened. The reverse has happened, like with blacks or Latinos, where you're assumed that you're a thug, you're assumed that you're this and that. And I think with white people, that happens as well, where there's an assumption about that person's sort of racial biases or tendencies, and whether or not they are racist. And I think that could have a very negative impact on outlooks and relationships and trust. I think one of the big things is just the ability to be able to build trust, and how historical conditions and race and racism play in that.
Yeah, like I was saying, how one of the biggest questions is like how me as a white person can like escape those thoughts.
Yeah.
What did adults verbally or non-verbally teach you about white people?
There was a little bit of both, verbal and non-verbal. The verbal is just the sort of being told to be mindful of situations, to take care, to just acknowledge that the world you live in does not necessarily treat you fair. That there are things to be very afraid of, or to be very conscious of. And non-verbally, you get from actions, and you get from how people look at you, you get from whether or not a person follows you in the store, things like that, those cues around race that, just it has an impact.
All right.
All right.
I have no more room on this. I got